At Granger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call, clickgranger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
This is 321 The Pod.
Well, I guess it is. This is kind of the show we've been doing we did for a while.
Yes. I mean, remember when we invented podcasting?
Yeah, in 2002. It was in my apartment in Anaheim.
Yeah.
And we kind of slept on that, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we kind of got screwed. We'd have launched Spotify or some shit.
Like, you know how in the story of Facebook, there's those Winklevoss twins, but they still got rich, right? Like everyone feels bad for them, but they still got hundreds of millions of dollars. They just didn't get billions. We're like the Winklevoss twins, except for we're not attractive and we made $0.
Yeah, so we're not
like just like that. Right.
Yeah, that was the Chris and Eric show. And if I could find that audio, I would die because I had a bootleg version of Cool Edit Pro where I recorded everything into a computer.
Remember good old Cool Edit Pro. I think I was on 2.1 for about a decade. I don't think I ever upgraded past 2.1.
Didn't have to because it was free.
Yeah,
now
and it was
a monthly
wonderful
for this shit.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
It sucks.
Well, hey man, I could tell by your background that you are at home base.
I am. I'm in California right now for the next 11 hours, 12 hours, 13 hours, something like that. I fly back home. Oh no, I fly back to Washington tomorrow at 6 a.m. and then go back to work on this new podcast I'm doing.
Yeah, man. Cool venture. I watched a couple things, your video clips. That is a nice looking studio.
Yeah, the studio, they put a good amount of money in the studio. It's dope. They they did the wood against the wall, and they have like the driftwood table, and it's like they're rednecks, so they welded this huge metal reinforced steel frame underneath this table, so it's never going anywhere.
Question: if it's driftwood, meaning it just drifts up, how come it's so expensive? Like, you didn't have to cut the tree down. You have to saw it. It's like, oh, look what washed up on the beach. Let's put legs on it, make a table. $5,000.
Because they went and got the wood out of the water.
I mean,
I'm just making something.
I mean,
up
honestly,
now.
like to me, driftwood's like, hey, dude, that was like free wood. Like you didn't have to grow that tree. That tree like washed up on your lot. Like, and then you're like, hey, I got a $5,000 coffee table here. It's driftwood. It's like, great. That was for free. That's like, hey, guys, I found a tumbleweed as it was rolling through Texas. I'm going to turn that into a nightstand, $1,000.
Yeah, you probably could do that. And then, they're getting even better at taking our money. They're breaking the driftwood in half, cutting out a big chunk, putting in toys that we already have bought, putting in a plastic cover in the middle so it looks like we have a Star Wars table. Oh. These guys are assholes. I'm kidding. No, but the studio is very nice. We just launched last week the intro show. It's going to be me and Derek Burke are the hosts. He's the smart one.
Yep, and you're not the smart one.
Smart one. Yeah. I keep the flow of the show going, but the next show this weekend or this Thursday is with my dad's urologist. Oddly enough, I did not know it was my dad's urologist when I interviewed him.
I think you have to refer to him as that the whole show, right? Like you have to say, hello, father's urologist.
Nope, I'm not going to do that.
Sir, my name is Dr. Smith. I'm sorry. I will hereby refer to you as my father's urologist.
His last name's pretty cool, though. It's Spenlove.
Spenlove.
They changed that when they came over on the boat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, no, we can't be that anymore. They don't like us. Let's go Smith. No.
He was the guy that was caught masturbating on the immigrant boat over. When they got there and when he rolled into Ellis Island, they're like, hey, what's this guy do? Well, he spends love. turns up. What's his name again? Something with love.
Spend
Love. He was
love.
spending some love in the bathroom, like spend love. There's your name. You're in.
I don't
Welcome to
think-
America.
I don't know if that would be the exact.
I mean,
term.
our original name
Are you a pirate?
was our original name was Jacks Me Off. And we figured eventually when we came, I don't know how that family name got started, but eventually we just changed it.
How did Laudenslager get started?
I think what it is it was originally it's mispronunciation of log slogger. And what that is it's people who deep throat things. They're, you're a log splogger. Yeah, like, oh, that whole family they're a bunch of log sploggers. And it just got shortened, like the name got twisted a little bit and it became log slogger. 3 inches might not sound like much. I can't believe you still have that.
Wow, you're trying to get it. We haven't talked in a while. You got to get all this out. You've been happening. You're you got a one-legged wheelchair. You've been like laying in a bed for the last 6 months. I'm sure you're spending your own love too.
Oh man, my walls, if you can only use a black light, it looks like
God, gross.
No, so I am on one leg still, but hey, I took steps for the first time like a few days ago. Like I literally was like I walked
step
10
1,
steps.
stop drinking. Step 2,
admit you have a problem. Step 3, make amends. It was in a total there was 12 steps.
One of them was an actual step, but then I fell. So the rest of them were just written down on paper.
Yeah, I'm only doing the odd number steps. So I admit that I have a problem, but then I immediately am like apologizing.
Is that because one leg you can't walk on, so you're only hitting the other every other
I'm
one?
I'm only hitting one step. Yeah, but I'm finally starting to walk a little bit again, and I got to tell you, man, I'm anxious to just like
walking sucks, huh? It's like for lazy people. It's like for poor people.
I know. Why aren't there like moving sidewalks everywhere? I thought this was like in the 1950s, every cartoon from Bugs Bunny that was like in the year 2050, it was like we were flying around on spaceships. What does a guy got to do to get a moving sidewalk in a city, right?
Even Wall-E made it more realistic and put it in like 3010 or something. Yeah. But I mean, like, their bones don't even connect. They're fat. They lay down on this bed. I mean, put them everywhere. Like, awesome.
I'm already super fat. I want to figure out how to be even fatter, and that means even less exercise.
Which you're doing quite well.
Great. Yeah.
You are so good at
I gotta tell you, dude, I'm so like, I feel bad. Like my wife, we were at Costco getting groceries stuff and we go to like get the dog food and we're like, which one? We're like, okay, yeah, let's get that one right there. And it's a crowd, Costco gets, 800 million people in a Costco.
And they were tasting the dog food. So
so I'm sitting there and I'm on my little scooter on one knee. I look so pathetic. And my wife's like grunting, like, and she's putting the dog food in the cart. She's maneuvering past people. I'm just standing there watching, and everyone's looking like, yeah, great husband. You're like the wife is loading like all the heavy stuff. And then when we get out to the car, I sit in the car and watch her load all of the stuff in the back, and people are driving by. And I know what they're saying. They're like, that guy's an asshole.
What's the funniest thing about that is Eric just said that he is fat, which means he eats a lot, which means his wife doesn't really get a whole lot of food because he eats it all first. She's not very big. She's probably weighs about 10 pounds. She probably weighed less than that bag of dog food.
Yeah. I mean, she's put on 1/8 of a pound for every year we've been married.
So she weighs like 10 pounds now.
Yeah, like she's gained like 8 pounds like since marriage. Like that's really even good.
She didn't even get the freshman 15 or anything.
No.
She didn't go to school.
Yeah, that's about it, man. I'm just trying to heal up and do better, and I can't wait to get back out and like doing stuff. Like I feel like useless, like when you can't. I'm a doer, right? Like I do a million different things. Like when you can't do those things and you're just playing video games, you feel like a loser.
You feel stuck. Yeah. And I mean, I don't want to say I'm in a similar situation, but when I'm up in Washington State, I'm going to work, I go to work, get home, and then my whole family's there. Don't get me wrong. My parents live there, my sister and her kids, but they have a life. My sister and her kids do. My parents don't. They stay home all the time, but they're just retired having fun. So I go in there and I get food. So it's nice to see them and hang out with them, but there's really not a whole lot for me to do. That's not true. I could find things to do, and I will go to the gym that I have access to up there, but it's not like I'm pursuing, going out and hanging out and doing things. I hang out with a few friends, but that's about it. It's not nothing to
There's nothing you're doing, right? Yeah.
I don't have to like mow the yard, or I don't have to go outside and blow the leaves off of something, or well, that sounded weird.
Normally you have to go outside to blow the gardener so he cleans up the leaves.
Well, but yeah, it's like I have stuff to do, but I don't have stuff to do, and I have to stop myself from working because I'll just sit there and write.
You'll just do it over and over and over again. And I think I'm just like sitting there going, is there something I could do that's productive, that's not like where I at least felt like I accomplished something, right? Like you're like,
it doesn't involve using a sock.
Yeah.
That's
still very productive, sir. You haven't seen how I do it. I'm very productive.
I don't want to know anything. But no, that's where you are. You're half broken still, and I'm 1,100 miles away from my family. 1,000 miles.
Yeah. And you're even farther. We're actually farther now away. You and I are, well, not now, but when you go up to Washington. You are, I think we're like 2,400 miles away or something crazy. But
which is probably good, because they won't be able to arrest me and you at the same time.
This is an excellent point. Well, I'll tell you what, man, I know stories 3, 2, 1 the pod. I figured we wanted to catch up, but I wouldn't mind hitting a story or two if you don't mind. I got one.
Okay.
Story 1.
Wow,
Okay.
that's such good fucking production value. I love it.
It really is. You're on top of it today. So this was a story that just made me laugh this week, and it made me think about it. So I was glad we got to talk. Did you hear the story, Chris, about the emu or emu? Do you say emu or emu? How do you say that?
I think it's emu.
Emu. Okay, did you hear the story about the emu? And no, I'm not talking about the horrible Liberty Mutual commercial emu. But maybe
are you referring to the Dallas Cowboys offensive game?
No, that was pretty lame as well.
Yeah, or their kicker. Go ahead.
Yeah, the kicker. So no, okay. So this took place over in England. I thought it was a funny story. It says an alleged drunk driver, which, by the way, if they say alleged,
he's drunk.
He was drunk.
Well, they just don't know what he was drunk with.
Right. But I like how they have to say alleged, but it's like, listen, when you hear the story, you'll know. An alleged drunk driver in England was arrested after a terrifying encounter with the world's second largest bird. Hotel chef Dean Wade figured his foot chase of a driver who crashed his pickup into the England storefront was over when they reached the fence of a wildlife sanctuary. So he says, "Don't go in there. Look at the emu. It'll totally kick your ass." He warned to the runaway driver. So basically, here's what happened. There was a crash. This guy's a chef, right, at this kind of fancy restaurant in a hotel, and he hears a crash outside, and it's this guy who's crashed into a storefront, like literally like plowed through the front of the thing. He gets out and starts running. Well, the chef guy goes, "Well, F that, I'm chasing this guy." So he said the guy was staggering around and puking while running, which, once again, he was drunk. It says,
was the chef puking while running?
No. This is the guy. Yeah, this is the guy running. Well, by the way, you and I have been around like kitchen staffs, and I'm going to say if he was drunk, that was probably the least thing he was on.
Yeah.
But the man who said was drunk confidently bragged as he was jumped into the sanctuary. "Don't worry about me. I can fight emus."
Oh,
and then scaled the fence containing the 7-foot bird and its offspring, which, by the way,
oh god,
that's the bad part right there, right? You're coming in between a bird and its offspring. It says, this is the quote of this hotel chef guy that chased this guy on foot. He says, hotel chef. He says, quote, "The driver was throwing kung fu kicks and punches at the emu, and it's moving its neck out of the way and then jabbing him in the ribs with his beak and his head. It really must have hurt because it was quite violent. It was stabbing his body all over," he told the Washington Post. Wilshire police later charged the man, who they didn't name, with drunk driving and other offenses. He sustained injuries, cuts, and bruises all over his face. Let's see if I can skip ahead. So it says he wound up chasing this guy for about like 8 to 15 minutes on foot. Then they approach an animal sanctuary, and the guy just tells him, "Don't go in there, man." And I love the phrase, "Don't worry, I can fight emus."
He said that. Okay, so I finally found the story that you're reading, and the headline to this one, I don't know if it's a headline he has, is "Drunk driver tries to flee Jeep crash, gets detained by nearby emu."
I love that. I want to just write headlines. Okay, so a couple of things. Number one, listen, we've all been drunk, and hopefully you don't drive when you're like that, because you could really mess up people's lives. That's our little PSA for this episode. But we've all been to where you're intoxicated to a certain level, and I get that. I don't know if I've ever been intoxicated enough to think that I can kung fu fight a 7-foot tall scary bird.
A dinosaur, basically.
A dinosaur, a freaking, like the scene when the kids are running from the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park, and they're hiding, and the velociraptor's there, and it's snarling through the window, and you can see the fog snarling. That's what this bird is. It's literally that. It's the scariest thing ever, right?
Oh, just announced Marvel's new movie. It's going to be about Emu Man.
Okay, so in another article I read, the guy's quote, the one who chased him and told him don't go in there, he said, I really wish I would have been able to take my cell phone out and video it, because words don't really do it justice how amazing it was to watch him try and kung fu fight an emu.
Oh my God, I can't believe the kung fu fight was something that was said when it came down to fighting an emu. Why does he think that the emu's like from China or Asia has kung fu skills? Like, wouldn't it
I think he's
why
just
do you
like
think UFC?
I think he just thought I can like do a round. He tried to do a roundhouse kick, right? Like that's like he had to do some like spinning, but he's drunk.
What I hope happened is
and the emu's just poking him.
after he jumped the fence, he was like, that emu's not that big, and then he's running over to it, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and he gets up there, and the emu's head's about 4 feet above his, and he goes, shit.
Yeah.
And then he gets his emu ass.
And then he knows, I know what I'm gonna do, a roundhouse backspin kick, and that's gonna teach this bird.
And everything in the background is just 3 people going, and they were kung fu fighting.
Yes. I hope it was the
at all.
I really hope it was the Doug from Liberty Mutual.
Yeah, right.
All right, that's the end of that story, man.
You think that he had an account with State Farm?
Or Allstate.
Story 2.
All right. I just wanted to pick your brain on some upcoming potential movies, right? So January, February, and even a little bit into March are typically when studios release their junk. For the most part, that's not always the case, but if a movie's released in November, it's because the studio really believes in it. If it's released in January, it's because they don't believe in it. There are some exceptions.
For Brady?
Yes, exactly. But yeah, they should have released that like 3 weeks ago. But anyways, so I was going to ask just your thoughts on, are you interested in seeing some of the movies that are coming up? So in February, we have a movie called Cocaine Bear. Have you seen Cocaine Bear previews?
I have, and honestly, this is on my list of ones to watch.
Kind of is on mine to watch, because it's like, I know I'm gonna have fun watching it. I don't even have to bother asking about Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. We're both in, right?
Question
we're both
though.
I will. Oh, but it's a February release.
Cocaine Bear. You think you saw Prey, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Prey was pretty good.
What if it was that same bear on cocaine?
Ooh,
that would be dope. And that's kind of what I'm hoping, because that CGI scene between that and the Predator was pretty
that was pretty intense.
So I'm hoping really it's like that, even though I'm petrified of bears. I actually found pictures of the one that almost killed us. No, I'm just kidding. Didn't kill us. Just walked right past us in the middle of the night once. And I don't know. I want to see. I kind of want to see it.
But wait a minute, Chris. If you're so scared of bears, how come your search history on Craigslist is "I would like to meet a big hairy bear"?
That's a different type of bear. It's like have you seen the new I don't think it's released yet.
And why are you always talking about wrestling this bear?
Winnie the Pooh. What's the new Winnie the Pooh I'm gonna kill everyone movie?
Yeah, that's, by the way, that's
the Pooh or something.
Yeah, I don't know how they got like permission to do that crazy Winnie the Pooh, but it's called Blood and Honey, by the way, which is a great name.
It's probably like past the limitation rights or whatever, because anybody make Great Gatsby now too.
That's true. Okay, but just real quick on Quantumania, because I'm sure we'll talk a million Marvel things over the course of this podcast. But does it worry you at all that it's being released in this area where they release crap movies, or are we just thinking they're spacing it out, all their Marvel releases, and they're just having this come first?
I think this is them kind of getting back into the swing of things. They just kind of been releasing stuff here and there over the last year since COVID, just kind of buttoning things up. You know, they held off on Black Widow for a long ass time. So I think that this is just them getting back into the rhythm. and this is going to pick up the storyline from Loki. But there's
Oh,
so much
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
There's so much shit in here that's happening in these previews.
It's like super hard to keep track of. I do worry a little bit that it's going to be one of those where there's a storyline that's so freaking hard to follow that it's like amazing, but I'm super into it. I mean, like, count me in. I don't go see every Marvel movie nowadays because I think they're doing or every show or whatever, because I think they've gone overboard with content. But this one I'm on board for. Like, I'm ready to see it.
The one thing that I'm most like excited to see how they do, which I don't know a bunch about this character, but MODOK. Now, MODOK is the mechanized organism designed for killing. That's what MODOK stands for. I've been reading up a little bit about it, but if you remember the very first Ant-Man, Darren Cross, which was Hank Pym's, guy, he was the Yellow Jacket.
Yeah,
he's MODOK.
Interesting.
Because at the end of that one, remember, he just like slinks up and goes small, disappears.
Yeah, that's
so
interesting. Yeah, I don't know the same guy.
Yeah, I don't know how that's all going to come about, but I'm very curious about how to see that part. Now, the whole Quantumania thing is going to be fun because it's just like, ooh, a hidden city in the middle of a small place. And they're going to fight, and it's going to be really cool. But I'm curious to see how a couple of things like that roll out.
So am I. There's another movie coming out that I'm just keeping an eye on because it's right in my wheelhouse. It's called Marlowe with Liam Neeson, and it's literally a 1940s detective story, which I'm a total sucker for. In fact, I wrote 2 books on the matter. But anyways, so I'm excited about that. It's called Marlowe. Philip Marlowe was a famous detective in all these Raymond Chandler books from that were about like this noir kind of. It's just it's Liam Neeson playing a 1940s LA detective who's like into broads and guns and solving crime and stuff. Is
his daughter taken?
I have one. What does he say?
I have a particular set of skills.
Exactly.
I just watched that movie the other day, and I love it when he's in the room and he goes, "You don't remember me, do you?" And he's like, everybody starts shitting their pants and they die. Anyway, that's cool.
What about? I know you're excited for Magic Mike: The Last Dance.
Is that a thing?
Yes, that's coming out in February.
Gabriel in it?
I think everyone's in it because it's like the final one. So they're doing it. And then of course 80 for Brady, which has already been mentioned, which I think it's I'm gonna say is not going to be good, especially if they're releasing a movie in that month. Okay,
he paid for this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was listening to a podcast here today. Before we get off this one, I want to. It's really funny how they were like referring to it. They're like, of course, Brady, 80s for Brady. He's going to produce this show. Look at this lineup: Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin, Rita Moreno, Sally Field. They're amazing actresses, huge, older in their careers. Really, they've been doing it forever. He's twice the age of any other player on that football team or field.
Yep.
He only can relate to old ladies because he's the old man on the field. They were saying how he doesn't know how to talk to the young kids anymore, so he has to make a movie with old ladies. Anyway,
that's funny. And then just really quickly in March, there's a couple of interesting ones in March. I would say the one that I'm kind of into is the new John Wick, which I think will be pretty badass. That comes out March 24th.
Did they kill his bird this time, or what happened?
I know this time it's like, you killed my bird. But March 17th, I believe it is, has the new Shazam movie. I think it's called Fury
of the Gods.
Fury of the Gods, yeah.
Okay, so
that might be one that I wait and see if I could stream.
Is Black Adam showing up?
Yeah, I mean, there is that crossover where Shazam was in Black Adam, right?
Yeah, and that's that whole like lightning bolt thing on their chest, right? Like that's the whole premise behind them going Shazam, and they're just powerful and not stupid, and then they say it again and they're just stupid, not powerful.
Yeah, exactly. That's
okay. Well, yeah, no, I didn't see this one originally in the movie theater, so
yeah, I'll watch it eventually, but I don't think I'm gonna see it in theaters.
Ooh, look, she's drunk girl in the movie. That's her role.
A drunk girl. That's
drunk girl.
I want to meet a drunk girl.
What
about Scream Part 6? Bring back the original cast, except for the people who get killed.
No, except for what's her face, the one that made those movies, Neve Campbell. She's not in it.
Oh, I didn't know she was in it. She's like the sexiest one. What about What about Creed Part 3? March 3rd.
Man, I haven't watched Part 2 yet.
Okay. Well, anyways, that was really about it.
What the fuck?
That's it. That's the only movies that are of any interest, even like remotely or slightly to me over the next like 6 weeks.
I just ran across something. It's a TV show that says it came out last year. Did this really happen? Twisted Metal, like the video game?
I thought they were making a movie about Twisted Metal.
It says TV series 2022 to whatever. Maybe it didn't come out, but it's supposed to have like Anthony Mackie, the new Captain America.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell? That's that
Twisted Metal. I remember that.
Remember?
Yeah, I remember.
You were like an ice cream truck with a clown face on it, blowing up.
Oh yeah, that was pretty fun. Speaking of video games, shows, The Last of Us is pretty damn good.
Oh yeah, we watched a couple of those. There's only 2 out right now, I think.
Yeah.
That's pretty gnarly. I was wondering how they were gonna pull that off. I'm like, oh, how are they gonna make zombies this time?
Yeah.
But it is kind of gross. It's like
it is. Oh, it's totally
like,
gross, but it's well made. I don't mind gross if it's well done.
Do you think it's the tail from the Na'vi coming out of their mouth?
I don't know. By the way, I've never seen any Avatar, and in fact, here are the following movies or franchises that I have not watched one thing from. Ready? Avatar, Fast and the Furious. I've never watched 1 minute of Fast and the Furious.
That's not true because
if
there's
it's been
only
on
16-second
TNT
races.
Well, and then what's the other one? I have never seen any of the Transformers.
Wow.
And I have never seen there's another big franchise. 3 inches might not sound like much. All right, that's good. All right.
Okay, hold on. I've never seen Godfathers.
Dude, that's just insane.
Well, but you have you just told me you hadn't seen Avatar.
I'm sorry. Godfather 1 and 2 are considered in the top 10 movies of all time, quality wise. So,
well, you just define quality of life when you have no money.
Oh yeah, this is true. But hey, they don't charge you based on how long the movie is. They charge you for the movie. So the Godfather's 3 hours long. Good, you get your money's worth.
But hey, the Avatar second one is I'm not.
Audrey went and saw it on the day it came out, and she liked it, and she had never seen the first one either.
First one's better. First one's way better, and it's more relatable, and not more relatable, but it's like there's a human element to the whole first movie.
I only know about it because The Simpsons did an Avatar thing after the movie came out. That's the only way I know about anything about Avatar.
No, everybody's blue in the second one. It's like, oh, cool, you just not flying.
All the movies that I watch, Chris, everyone gets blue too. No, that's blown. No, I'm sorry, that's blown. I was wrong, not blue. Anyways, let's move on. It's a mini game. Let's do a quick game.
Okay. I don't have a button for that one.
Game time.
I think you broke your computer.
All right. Okay. All right, man. I just was gonna ask you, now that the year 2022 is over,
okay,
can you name the top 10 grossing domestic, so not worldwide, domestic movies in theaters of 2022?
I can name a couple, but not all of them.
Some of them kind of surprised me, but I'll tell you before you even name any one of them.
Okay.
Let's just say, looking at the top 10 list, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of the 10. You know how they say now it's all about owning IP?
Yeah.
9 of the 10 are IP, and the 10th is debatable, but it's not an IP, I guess. It's just whatever. Anyways, continue. Do your top 10 of 2022 domestic box office.
Spider-Man No Way Home,
number 9.
That
one was good. I of all the movies on this list, it is my second favorite movie from this list of the year.
Wow, that's low.
I agree. I thought that would be way higher. I think it did really good in streaming though.
Avatar,
The Way of Water, even though it was only out on December 16th.
Mm-hmm.
But it counts for the year. In those 15 days of the year, it was already at number 4 for the whole year.
Yeah, of course. And it just made Zoe Saldana one of the coolest actresses ever. She's in 4 movies that made over $2 billion.
Yeah.
She's the only person ever. Okay. I would say, what was the one with, Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange, number 3, had a nice strong showing.
Batman.
The Batman.
Oh yeah.
Was number 7. Hey, you're batting 1,000.
Wasn't there a Scream movie released last year?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Okay. Was there any other? Oh, Wakanda Forever.
Wakanda Forever, number 2.
Black Adam.
Number 11, just outside the top 10.
Ah,
Number 10 is kind of surprising, actually. But it just goes to show you how bad Sonic. Yeah. Sonic the Hedgehog.
Was it Sonic?
Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog. By the way, Sonic the Hedgehog did better in theaters than Black Adam, Elvis, the movie Uncharted, Nope, Buzz Lightyear, the movie Smile, and Bullet Train, which, by the way, Bullet Train on Netflix, pretty good. You should watch it.
It was. I watched it. It was funny.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Okay, you're still missing number 1, number 5, 6, and 8.
1, 5.
1, 5, 6, and 8. Think IP.
Maverick.
Yes, number 1. Top Gun Maverick was number 1. That's the only one that isn't an IP, because that's a sequel that's like 28 years apart. I would consider that not like IP. Like
I'd consider it Tom Cruise IP at this point.
I guess so. But the ones that you have not gotten yet, number 5, 6, and 8. 5 is Jurassic World Dominion.
That came out last year?
Yes, it did. It came out on June 10th, it says. And then Minions, Rise of Gru.
That was a good one.
Was number 6. And then 8, Thor, Love and Thunder, which was not very good.
Oh, yeah, that did come out. Yeah, I'm surprised that didn't come to my head first. No, I liked a lot of it.
And you know what? All of these have so Top Gun Maverick saved movie theaters, maybe like from like permanently going away. Because remember, when Top Gun came out, it was kind of controversial that he wasn't going straight to streaming, that he demanded that it be released in theaters. It gets released in theaters and it does just domestically $800 million. And then worldwide, it obviously does a lot more. And now people, after that, the other movies started getting released. If you look at every other movie for the year that made the top 10 or even the top 20, they were pretty much all, except for Doctor Strange, which was released at the same time. Every other movie was released in July and August and whatever. It's because I think Tom Cruise might have saved movie theaters. Like a lot of them are going to go out of business. Hell, whatchamacallit just closed a bunch of theaters.
AMC, yeah, they did.
AMC, Cinemark, they're still closing theaters, but some theaters are staying open because, I mean, Top Gun did so damn well. So
okay, so I'm missing a couple.
No, you're done. It's done. It's over.
Oh, I was going to say Everything Everywhere All at Once has got to be up there somewhere, right?
No, it didn't. No one saw it. I mean, I saw, like, no one saw it. It was, let's see. It was number 27.
Damn, it's such a good movie, but you also really have to be willing to get to like let yourself go for a little bit. And,
do you know what beat it?
Catch up the story.
Here's what beat it that I haven't mentioned.
Your wife.
Ooh, Morbius beat it. Which, by the way, how much did that bomb? That Morbius beat it. Morbius was such a bomb. You were right about Scream, by the way. I didn't even notice it. It was down here at number 25. The movie Sing 2, Black Phone.
Sing 2. Black Phone had Ethan Hawke. It's supposed to be pretty cool.
Yeah. DC League of Super Pets.
Never watched
21. It. Fantastic Beasts: The Secret of Dumbledore, and then The Bad Guys, which was another
really
one.
Yeah. I'm so happy that Elvis isn't up there.
So am I.
Oh, wait, hold on. What about the king, the woman king? That was supposed to be this huge thing.
Oh yeah, no, I don't remember seeing that at all on here.
Wow. Huh. Interesting.
Hell,
okay,
Jackass Forever was number 32, and I can't picture people watching that in theaters, but whatever. All right, that's really about it, man. I know we spent a lot of time. I don't want to take up too much of your time. It was nice catching up, but I gotta get going.
Yeah, do your thing. I'm gonna go spend time with my kids, play some video games, maybe take my wife out to get a drink, and then I gotta wake up at 3 a.m. and go fly.
All right, man. Well,
wish me luck.
Good luck out there, and hey, everybody, listen for an upcoming season 10 of Listen to This, which is currently being written, and I don't know, we'll be out in a couple of months, being worked on right now.
I will have to let your producer know.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, by the way, I'll be ready in a couple of months.
Oh, yay. No worries.
Okay.
It's all good. I'll make it happen.
All right. I'll talk to you later. And everybody out there in podcast land. Is there a podcast land?
There is not a podcast land. It used to be Hollywood land. Now it's just Hollywood.
Oh, okay. So it's just
podcast.
Okay. Podcast. That's what this is.
Thank you for listening to 321 the Pod. Don't forget. Thank you for listening to 323. Don't forget.
Oh, shut up. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.